What are we going to face in Hogwarts Legacy? Welcome back to the people, I am Mark Zealman, and this is your channel for magical games. One day I'll remember that tagline, I actually have to read it. So here we are, back again looking at leaked footage and the original trailer for clues as to who we are going to fight or subdue in Hogwarts Legacy. Yes, we are killing time. This is also probably something I should have done about a year or so ago when the trailer first came out, although we did have a different game back then. But anyway, let's get right into it. I think we've got 10 of them. So firstly, we're going to turn to the leaked footage. Just remember this is old and has been, well, there's been a lot done since. If you look at the old leaked footage in full, which I don't normally show, you'll see a lot of the menus have their code names on them, which is quite funny. So our first enemy is an Obscurus. An Obscurus was the manifestation of a repressed energy of a young wizard or witch, known as an Obscurial, described as a dark and parasitic force. An Obscurus was created when the wizard child in question consciously attempted to repress their magical abilities, or were forced to do so through physical or psychological abuse. This energy can manifest itself as a separate entity that could erupt in violent, destructive fury. Credence, obviously from Fantastic Beasts. Here's one, but he's kind of special. Goblins! Now this one took me a few seconds to work out because the Gringotts goblins and these goblins look quite different. It wasn't until I looked at Fantastic Beasts and looked at the guy who owned the bar, forgotten his name now. He's also a goblin, and he looks remarkably like these goblins. So we'll come to the conclusion that these are goblins. Goblins are a highly intelligent race of small magical humanoid beings with long fingers and feet that coexist with the wizarding world. Their diet consists of meat, roots, and fungi. Goblins converse in a language known as gobbledygook and are adept metalsmiths notable for their skilled silverwork. They even mint coins for wizarding currency. Due to their skills with money and finances, they controlled the wizarding economy to a large extent and ran Gringotts Wizarding Bank. I don't know why this is in past tense. I'm trying to turn it into current tense on the fly. It's quite difficult. Right, other students. Apparently, looks like a duel going on, but this is against school rules. Well, at least it was in the 90s. Maybe it's some sort of dueling club. There's a dueling dummy as well in some of these things to play with. So maybe you get to spar with each other to practice your spells. Trolls! Okay. Good luck trying to beat a troll. I suggest distraction tactics, maybe. A troll was a magical beast of prodigious strength and immense stupidity. In fact, they were so synonymous with stupidity that they actually had a wizarding exam failing grade named after them. Trolls were grouped in the taxonomical genus Troglodyterum. Trolls possessed rudimentary magic, but it's not known how they applied it. I don't know if you can get away with Wingardium Leviosa and dropping their mallet on their head. You never know. Right, now we're going to move on to the official trailer. Number one. So our first one is the Inferius, which are vulnerable to Incendio or Lumos Maxima, probably, because they dislike heat and light. An Inferius, the plural Inferi, was a dead body reanimated by a dark wizard's curse. They were similar, but intrinsically distinct from a zombie. Inferi were created through the magical branch of dark arts called necromancy, which you've probably all heard of, which was the art of raising the dead. Spells used to reanimate the corpse were complex. Now move on to Dementors. So, Expecto Patronum is one way of getting around a Dementor. Also, transforming into an Animagus. Sneaking away is another form. A Dementor was a gliding, wraith-like dark creature, widely considered to be one of the foulest of the dark creatures to inhabit the wizarding world. Dementors fed on human happiness, and thus generated feelings of depression and despair in any person in close proximity to them. They could also consume a person's soul, leaving their victims in a permanent vegetative state, and thus were often referred to as soul-sucking fiends, and the people that left soulless were deemed to have been turned into an empty shell. Now, I have a slight gripe with Dementors. Well, not Dementors, per se. So personally, I'd like these to be beyond our magical ability, because the Patronus spell is supposed to be very hard, especially a full corporeal Patronus that ran around. But it seemed that every Tom, Dick and Harry could do it. So it seems a bit odd, but yeah, I don't know. I just like that to be something special. Grap Horn. Good luck with that one. Though it could just be a simple cutscene thing we got going on. We make friends of the Grap Horn. The Grap Horn is found in mountainous European regions, large and greyish purple with a humped back. The Grap Horn has 2 very long, sharp horns, walks on large 4-thumbed feet, and has an extremely aggressive nature. Mountain trolls can occasionally be seen mounted on Grap Horns, though the latter do not seem to take kindly to attempts to tame them, and it's more common to see a troll covered in Grap Horn scars. Powdered Grap Horn is used in many potions, although it's immensely expensive owing to the difficulty in collecting it. Grap Horn hide is even tougher than the dragon's and repels most spells, so good luck stupefying one of them. Then we have the masked mysterious skull guy. There are many offensive options, and including what looks to be Flipendo in this scene. So he's probably the one you can use the most variety of spells on, but I imagine he's a bit of a badass. Dragons! There are a few things you can do to combat dragons. One is distraction. One is sleeping charm, which is fleur de liqueurs. Another one is a conjunctivitis curse, the thing of the eyes. I think that was Victor Crumbs. Dragons were giant-winged, fire-breathing reptilian beasts, widely regarded as terrifying yet awe-inspiring. They could be found all over the world and were frequently referred to in Asian and medieval European folklore. And then finally we have our Acromantula with Arania Exame. It's a specific spell you can use on those. An Acromantula was a giant magical species of spider native to the rainforests of Southeast Asia, particularly Borneo, where it inhabited dense jungles. Acromantulas were believed to be a wizard breed species designed to guard dwellings or treasure hoards, and were first created before the ban on experimental breeding in 1965. These giant spiders had a taste for human flesh and were first spotted in 1794. So it's maybe slightly less than 100 years from our time. So those are the people or beasts or whatever we're going to have trouble with in Hogwarts Legacy. Unless, of course, they've changed the entire storyline in the time that we've seen these things. So let me know what you think below. What else would you like to see? What other enemies would you like to see? Bearing in mind we're in the late 1800s. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you dislike it, hit the down thumbs button. But at least tell me in the comments below why you didn't like it. Also, if you're more interested in more of this content as it comes along, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at BarkZealman. Hey, don't forget, I also have a Discord now. Link is in the description below. That's taken off remarkably well. I am quite pleased with that. So don't forget to check out that there. And that's where we can do our Harry Potter and You experience, where the community get to decide the storyline. That, speaking of which, has taken off remarkably quickly. I was expecting the first set of votes to take 2 weeks to get up to 10 maybe. But now I can have 34, and it's not even been a week. So yeah, so I'm busy writing the next section of that. I've got a few sections kind of planned out, but obviously I can only plan so far ahead because you might mess up the plan. You're not going to mess up the plan. But I have many options and many ways it can go. But it's quite fun for me to have to adapt it as well. And it's quite fun to see who you run into or do not run into, depending on what choices you make. So until next time, don't forget to brush up on your spells and get your ones ready to write your own Hogwarts Legacy.